Hey folks, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with AstrologyMojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. I'm just arranging, just sat down with my cup of Java. And it's actually decaf. I forgot to put my mountain powder in. Anyway, if you are new to me, what I say about astrology is that the planets don't do anything to you, that we live in a cooperation with the cosmos, so that when a planet makes a move, you feel it. Why? Because you're a sentient, celestial, eternal being and you feel everything. The planets are not conscious of their movements, and therefore they do not control you. Now, long ago, there used to be a group of people who believed that the planets were conscious of their movements, and they were called the originists. But we are not they. So here we are. We're going to talk about the lunar eclipse and your values. I talked at length, 2 hours last time, about the solar eclipse in Scorpio, which is still in effect. And now we're at the juncture of the lunar eclipse. It happens on November 8th at 16 degrees and 1 or 2 minutes, I believe. Let me just double check that. Not that it is really that big, but if you were on the cusp of something and you're looking in your chart and you're saying 16 degrees this way or that way, depending on a house. Let's just double check. And that is November 8th. I'm in December already. 1 minute. Okay, 16 degrees, 1 minute of Taurus is the lunar eclipse. And so what we're looking at here is how to, I'll just briefly cover what I said last week about the solar eclipse, just because they work in tandem. The houses work together. I'm sorry, the eclipses work together. Here we go. So for Aries, it's houses 2 for the solar eclipse. The first house I read will be for the solar eclipse. The second is the lunar eclipse. So 2 and 8. So those are the financial houses. The I'm worth it house is the second. Hi, Latanja's here. The 8th house is joint resources. So Aries, for lunar eclipse, you want to create a value system, whether it deals with estate planning, or maybe it's about sexuality. Maybe it's about your spousal income. Maybe you don't have a spouse and it's estate planning, dealing with the passing of someone. So again, the axis of the 2nd and 8, and I think I have a chart to show you. Let me share. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, a window into time. And there it is. Okay. Here we go. So let me go over here. Gotta scoot over a carpet. So the look at these extremes. All right, this is November 8th, not today. If you're watching this in a replay, by the way, a replay on YouTube, on Facebook, please remember to share, like, and subscribe, and pass my stuff along. So we're looking at these extremes, right? And because Scorpio is over here and Taurus is over here, so we have like the axis. And so when we look at extremes, I want you to look at what you are creating and how it feels. What are you creating and how does it feel? Does it feel empowering? Do you value what you're doing? Because if you don't, then what happens is you start to build up obligations, resentments, excuses, and then feelings on top of that. And it's like, well, I did this thing. And it's like, well, I didn't ask you to do that thing. And now you resent me for doing that thing. So there's a lot of mixed feelings and people get lost in exactly what the issue is. Well, I'm looking at it very clearly. It's a matter of what you value versus the extremes, what you value. And this is a general chart. This is not a person's chart or a particular signs chart. Although if you were a Libra rising, it might look like this, depending on the degrees. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop and go back. I'm going to start over. I was looking at the wrong notes. Aries, it's not 2 and 8. Sagittarius, it's 2 and 8. Sagittarius, I'm sorry, Aries, you're 6 and 12. So 2 and 8, meaning what you value and what helps to empower you. Sagittarius. I apologize. That's what happens when you rush and you're a Taurus in a eclipse phase. You're trying to get it all done. I was in the kitchen talking with my husband, la, la, blah, blah, blah. Look at the time. It's 9:29. Oh, I have somewhere to be. Okay, Sagittarius. We're beginning again. Hi, welcome. Elaine Marolakos, Edelson. Sagittarius, 2 and 8. Your values and your security. And also who you're partnering with, Sag. And this is sun, rising, and moon. So whatever you feel is appropriate for you. Okay. I'm going to pull a general card or two, not for each sign, but a general card or two at the end, so we can kind of solidify what the values deal with. Now, when I look at this chart and I see that South Node, Mercury, Sun, Venus, all in Scorpio, opposing the North Node, Moon, and it will be on November 8th, and Uranus, then we have a very clear picture of me versus them, this versus that. And it can, if you were to lock yourself in a closet, life would find you, because inside your brain and your mind, you're reliving stuff from your past. Can you imagine just like waving through, oh, and that happened and this happened and that reminds me of that song. And I remember when I was 12 and then that happened. And hey, who are those bands? And then suddenly you're angry and nothing happened in the external world to push your buttons. You did it. So that's why I'm saying it's very important to recognize when you are the creator of your world and that you have power. You have power. You're the power. You. What's happening? You're happening. You are always happening. And it's happening. It's happening now. So, okay. So Sag, how you make your money and then what you do with your money. And then it's not about money. What's the value behind it? I value this card deck. Even though it was gifted to me, if I bought it, I would value it because it's what I would proclaim as something that helps to define me and my reality. A value is a standard that you have. So it's yours. And you can't expect anyone else to have the same value system as you. So Sagittarius, whatever you're doing, I hope you're valuing, because it's going to empower you. Capricorn, I'm just going to go down the list. We're looking at 3 and 9. Perception is the solar eclipse in Scorpio. And then your beliefs and practices and contracts and legal affairs. Now, that would be the lunar eclipse. So if you're looking at how you can be more in the world, Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Moon, maybe it's about you creating a course, writing a paper. Like if you're in science or something, you write white papers or legal papers, or you do certain kinds of research and have other people collaborate with you, and then you print that. Or you look at the legalities of something, or you look at the philosophy behind something. Do you really believe that? My husband used to say, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And I asked him one day, do you really believe that? And he stopped and he said, well, no. I was like, then why are you saying it? So the same thing for you, Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Whatever you're ruminating in your brain, whatever your beliefs are right now, I want to see you manifest something in the world because of that. Now, maybe it's about taking a higher course. Maybe you're teaching a course. Maybe you're learning something at this point, Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And if you're not, maybe it's time you rethink your beliefs, because your beliefs are creating your reality. Your thoughts, your feelings. Oh, yeah. Every time I meet a guy named Larry, this is what happens. I actually met someone who thought that. Yeah. Look out, Larrys of the world. That doesn't make any sense to me. That is just, anyway. Yeah. So what do you do at a party when you're like, yeah, I was in the middle of I don't drink alcohol, but I was having something, I remember. And as I was bringing it up to me, it's like, yeah, every Larry I've ever met has screwed me over. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to go freshen up my drink and goodbye and good luck. So Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Moon, I want you to really see that you have power in your thoughts and what you're doing. So it's not just what you're thinking, but it's how that energy and creates a vibration that makes matter. What's the matter? You're the matter. And just be as present as possible, Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Moon, because you're going to see how that matter is going to develop into either travel, marketing, higher education, a legal contract. Maybe someone wants to hire you. Huh? We'll see. Aquarius, we're at the 4-10 juncture, 4 being the house 4, Aquarius, Sun, Rising, and Moon, and 10 being the lunar eclipse. Now, so 4, we went over it at length, 2 hours. I think that's my longest Facebook, YouTube live ever. Aquarius, and that's your home. Who are you? You might feel the need to nest or nurture right now, or just be at home, or you may start up a business at home, because the 4th house is the inner identity, 4 walls, parents, and family. But the 10th house is career. So you're pondering, oh, I don't know if I can do that anymore. I don't know if that's good for my body. What if you're, working construction or something where you have to, I see women working for UPS and they're hauling boxes. Power to you. I couldn't do that. Even at the post office. I mean, literally, you work at, I knew someone who worked at Tuesday morning, and I said, what's that like? Do you like it? Well, I like when I'm in the front at the cashier, or, putting stuff out on the aisles, but in the back, a lot of boxes to unload. It's like, that's a lot of work. So, Aquarius, Sun, Rising, and Moon, you're rethinking about how you want to be, where you want to live, how you want to express yourself, and how that translates into career for you. So ponder that. Ponder that as you nurture a little bit more. Okay, and Pisces, Rhonda is never late to the party, because wherever she is on time. Okay, Pisces, we're at the 5-11 axis, and 5 is the solar eclipse. We talked about it again last episode. You can watch in the replay. And then that is more about creativity, projects, and family, children, romance, partners, but also taking risks and being the party animal. And if you have overindulged way too much in life, it is time to back it up and see how that is causing some issues. So now we look at house 11 on the axis, and that would look more like you being the keeper of your calendar, Pisces, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Okay, you're the keeper of the calendar. It's like if you're overbooking and then you're exhausted, well, say no. Set that boundary. If you are working with a group and you don't want to be working with that group anymore, say no. Set that boundary. If you are seeing that you have untapped potential with a particular market, group of people, or friend, or association, it's this collaborative. We're talking Pisces, Sun, Rising, Moon. You might think, I want to be over there now. So let me just talk to some people and see how can I, segue to the next thing. And collaborate. Collaboration is huge now, but you're letting go of some friends, some associates. Remember, lunar eclipse represents feminine energy of release. Now, a gift can be, oh, that doesn't work for me anymore, and so you no longer freelance at that company. Or I'm just saying, or maybe you're saying that particular area that I lived in, that is, so I belong to that, young Republicans group. It's not speaking to me, or I want to be part of that group. Then that takes some alteration of how you think, because 5 and 11 axis is being creative and seeing the potential in something. So whatever you're doing, Pisces, Sun, Rising, and Moon, I think it's important that you see it as something that is innovative, inspiring. And if something is erratic or addictive, that's what you got to walk away from. Okay, Aries, the true Aries, Sun, Rising, and Moon. 6 and 12 is your axis. 6 is the solar eclipse in Scorpio. And that's about health, number 1, and work, number 2. And also about how you see yourself in it's not actually a particular group, but it's a mindset about your health and about work practices. Because if you are someone who cranes, you work at the computer and you're like, oh, my back, I better just call the chiropractor. And then you go, and this happens for 10, 15, 20 years, and nothing is really, you just like, it becomes a pattern. It's like, I hurt myself, I fix it, or I get someone to fix it, but it's not really fixing it. So the lunar eclipse in 12 is saying your psyche and what you're developing in your brain really needs to change. That thought needs to change. That process has to be broken so that you can create new neurons that teach you how to be a little bit more empowered regarding your well-being. And that takes some deep digging, Aries, sun, rising, and moon, to say, my beliefs have created certain patterns that create certain habits, and now I am feeling it in my body. And you might have been feeling it for a long time, Aries, sun, rising, and moon, but now it's don't make yourself crazy over something. Because when you see this collection of Scorpio energies, and I'm talking about your sun, rising, or moon, I'm talking about the empowerment aspect. Then when you see the opposite, which is the Uranus and moon and North Node in Taurus, I'm talking about the letting go of something so that you can attain a new awareness regarding whatever topic. And it can be innovative. It can be science related, Aries, sun, rising, and moon. It can be a blow to the psyche. Like, I had no idea that I did that. So now it's about creating that awareness so that you get to those unconscious patterns that are seeming to be running the show regarding your health and work practices. And that's very doable. Okay, Taurus, your solar eclipse is in the 7th house and the lunar eclipse is in the 1st house. So because this is about you, literally the 1st house is about letting go of parts of you that you no longer value. And that can be stubbornness, or that might be a feeling of, I want to collaborate more with a business partner, a spouse, a lover. It could be fans. It could be a close friend. And you might say, I think it's time I collaborate more, but I need to have equality. So if you're giving more than you are allowing yourself to receive, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon, then that needs to be rethought. No? Yes. Because the part of you that doesn't allow is the part of you that said, I'll just do it. Or you wind up being the one who takes over for the group or in the partnership. That's not really equal. So what you want to look at then, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon, is how to trust that the flow is okay. Hang on. How to trust, there's something coming in, that you allow equality based on an experience of mutual trust. So never stop asking questions, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon. Ask. Hi, how you doing? How's it going? Blah, blah. Okay. Because if you fall asleep in a relationship, then suddenly somebody turns around and says, yeah, I never liked that color. And you keep buying me, blue sweaters. It's like, well, you never told me. I saw you wear one, it's like, well, that was 20 years ago. Okay. That's not me now. So, I mean, that's a very mundane definition, but Taurus, sun, rising, and moon, you need to allow yourself to give as much as you get and to get as much as you give. Now, how you're going to do that, I would say by listening to what others are saying in your sphere, a spouse, a business partner, high-end clients. They might say, oh my gosh, Elaine, you just validated something, because I'm a Taurus. You just validated something. And I might say, you know what? And whether I admit it to this person or not, I might think that came through me for you, but that works for me. I just got that. Because you're going to start to see your situation in other people's lives. And or if people are projecting something onto you, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon, you're going to say, well, Okay, I own it if I said it or did it, but you have that same complaint about your mother, your brother, your lover, your son, your friends. So is it really me? Think about that. So having equality, Taurus and rising moon in a relationship means listening, feeling, expressing, thinking about it, and then asking yourself, am I the one who's always doing? But if you are, then you set that up. So be collaborative. Collaboration. Check in. Hi, Rikara. Rhonda. Ha ha ha. Okay. Gemini, the solar eclipse, as we talked about last time, is in the eighth house, second house axis, which is the opposite of Sagittarius. But and so expressed and perceived differently. So Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, eighth house Scorpio is, wow, powerhouse, setting up estate planning for yourself, your family, really knowing what to invest in, why you're investing your time, energy, and cash into something, and to value that, to have it be empowering. And also, if you're the kind of person, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, who says, I got to do it for my partner, my spouse, because eighth house axis, we're looking at spousal income. So if you make more money than your spouse, and I have to tell you, I know so many Gemini women or Gemini rising or Gemini moon women who got, I'm just going to do it for him, my husband. Yeah, he really wants that. I'm going to buy that for him. But it doesn't work both ways, because then you have demands of your partner that are unrealistic. So you want to really have an open communication about what you're investing in. That equals time, energy, money. It could be insurance matters. Maybe you're looking for someone new to help fund the whatever, your child's tuition, or what you want to invest in. Maybe you're going to explore crypto. Maybe you did do crypto and you're like, no, it didn't work for me, so therefore it won't work for you. So you have to be careful of like very extreme behavior when it comes to financial investments. So that's the eighth house, but the second house is the joint. Eighth house is the joint resources, Gemini, sun, rising, moon. But your worth is in the second house and what you do for work. So you may value what you do for work, and then you don't trust the people you invest with. Time, energy, money. Or maybe you are up for retirement and they're saying, well, here's the package we're going to give you. And you're thinking, I put in overtime for you people. I showed up when no one else did, and this is what you're giving me. Or maybe you're saying to yourself, I am so worth it, because you're listening and you're feeling and you're expressing honestly. And you say, I'm so worth it. And so, I'm just going to do my thing because I love it, love it, love it. And then suddenly you get a bonus or a raise that you were not expecting. That's how true manifesting works. So Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, I really want you to be aware of what you think of your worth. And if you are someone at work that you are not at home, you want to think about that. That's an extreme. Not that you're going to invite everyone over for dinner from your office, but be the real you wherever you go with healthy boundaries. Okay, Cancer. Sun, rising, and moon. So your ninth house, third house axis is about, the ninth house for you was Scorpio, and that could deal with marketing, new contracts, travel arrangements, or possibly a new learning curve or philosophy that deals with getting ahead in business, and or perhaps teaching. Maybe you're putting together some kind of teaching course or a coaching program. Or maybe you were just in one and it affected you so much. Now what are you letting go of? Well, what's in the third house? How you formulate thoughts, how you think, what you believe, what you perceive. Now, siblings might come into play here as well. So that means you could have a meeting of the minds, or you're parting ways. Just because someone's related to you doesn't mean they're meant to stay in your life. People kind of choose who they're going to be with. This is my belief, that they come and they learn from. But at some point, if there's no reciprocity in a relationship, then you realize you are who you are, they are who they are, and blessings. So I want you to really understand, Cancer, sun, rising, and moon, that any kind of contracts or marketing deals or travel arrangements or Maybe you're tenured now as a professor or an educator, or maybe you're in the legal department of some financial industry and you're thinking, this is such a powerful tool. I want to teach other people how to do it. I knew one gal who was, I can't remember if she was a Cancer sun or a Cancer rising sign, but she had been through many divorces. And so she created a course on how to stay married. But before that, she created a course on what to do when you're divorced, because a lot of women just don't understand, because they're busy doing other things like having children and maybe their own career. And so sometimes things get lost in the shuffle. And so this woman created a course for women on what to do, what steps to take financially when you're divorced and you don't know anything about investments or money. So that was very cool. So Cancer has an energy too of thinking on their feet and pivoting very quickly. It's a cardinal energy, just like Libra and Capricorn and excuse me. And Aries. And so that kind of energy is very I want to say the word educational. It's like, you know, a lot, you can teach a lot. And so by learning new ways to brain entrainment is what I'm trying to say. Cancer, sun, rising, moon, brain entrainment, doing certain exercises that help to calm your mind so that you don't wander into the world of defense or judgment. Now, if you are in the legal profession, that might be like your opening statement in court. or, or maybe if you have a lot of planets in Cancer, it might be, you might be very fair minded, but deep down you have a very strong opinion. That energy, whatever you are, whoever you are, is going to come out and show itself in the world. So just be more cognizant, Cancer, sun, rising, and moon, of how you are communicated and communicating and where that information is coming from. Because if you don't believe it, if it's not true for you, it might be true for someone else. And knowing the right questions to ask. Ask. Listen, everybody, we're coming up on the holidays. So I'm just going to segue real quick from Cancer as a springboard to, when you're at a party and you're meeting people, and if all you're doing is talking about yourself, that's not a relationship. If all you're doing is asking questions, that's not a relationship. So you have to watch the extremes, folks. So ask a little and say, oh, well, wow, that's really fascinating. What do you mean by that? Or I love that. Let me tell you about that. And so when you open up and you ask questions and you're learning how to relate to people better, you learn something. And that's the third house axis. It's a Capricorn Cancer thing right now with these eclipses. Okay, Leo, you're on the 10-4 axis. 10 is your career house, your direction, and that is your solar eclipse experience and empowering, maybe finding that you got more work recently and you have to readjust because of family matters. Fourth house, you have to let go of something. You have to let go of staying up till midnight to watch your favorite show just because you want your time. Leo, sun, rising, moon. It's like, if you're tired, go to bed. And this way the resentment won't build. So when you're letting go of something that at home that's not working, lunar eclipse is a release. What is it that's happening in the home, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, that you don't want there anymore? Maybe it's just, it's time to clean out the closets. I have to redo the kitchen. Or I'm letting go of these books that I don't read. I don't want them anymore. Someone else can use them. I'm going to recycle them. So as you purge something from the home, and it can be something from your past, it could also deal with a maternal figure. So if grandma or mom or auntie are living with you, or you're taking care of them, or they're on your mind, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, this may be the time where they make the departure. Either go to a nursing home, to another facility, or maybe they get married and move away to another country. Maybe they go off planet. As people reemerge into non-physical, what they experience is absolute joy. What we experience on this end is the ending of something, because we're always looking for someone where they were instead of where they are now. So if you're letting go of someone or something that is near and dear to you, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, or a realization that I married my mother or I married my father and this can't go on. If we're going to go into the future together, we need to have some perspective. We need maybe some counseling, so you want to look at what is happening with your career and your life trajectory based on what's going on at home and what you might need to let go of. So if you're working at home, maybe you need to leave the house so that not everything gets dumped on you. If you are, working at home with a spouse or a lover, maybe or you're a single parent, maybe it's time for you to set those boundaries a little bit more, or check in with a elder parent or grandparent. But whatever's happening, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, it's really important that you realize that the fourth house is your inner identity. And if you don't feel good in your home environment, and then you don't feel good in your body, then the kind of work that you do is going to be just trying to get ahead, not making it really work for you. So be as present as possible. Okay, Virgo, 11-5 axis. The 11th house is the solar eclipse in Scorpio, which we went over in depth. And remember, folks, planets aren't making you do anything. Eclipses shine a light and cast a glow on parts of you that are ready to grow. Okay, I rhymed. Okay, Virgo. The 11th house solar eclipse is all about your friends and groups and associations. Yes. But the lunar eclipse is shining a light, casting a glow on your 5th house. What is life with children, without children? Is that a sore spot? Is that a place of grieving? You're letting go of something. Maybe you're an empty nester. Maybe you're a Virgo, sun, rising, or moon who is grieving the loss of a child or not being able to have a child. Or maybe you are thinking of your inner child and how you grew up and witnessed a specific type of relationship, and now are looking at your spouse, lover, significant other and thinking, yeah, this isn't going to work anymore. Or if it's not going to work, how could it work? Or maybe you're grieving the loss of a spouse. So when you're letting something go, whether it's an actual person or the idea of a person, yeah, one day I'll meet, my ideal lover, or one day, if I were to have a child, this is what I would do. So when you're letting go, or a creative project, 5th house is also creativity and taking risks. So, but when you're releasing that idea, you make room for something that is much more appropriate to who you are now. So what I'd like to see you do, Virgo, sun, rising, and moon, in fact, everybody, is to meditate every day a little bit. Just get quiet and get that feeling of calmness, and then see yourself moving into the future, into the wave, because the wave is the consciousness, the particle is the thought. And so we have the thought and we say, I'd like to create something, says Virgo, sun, rising, and moon. And I'm going to take that thought and I'm going to relax my body and move into the wave of consciousness. And I'm just going to feel, what is it like to work with children? Or what is it like to have a lover who loves me back? Or what is it like to be in a place of that? I'm going to write that book or write that song or produce that video. And it just feels amazing. And you take that excited feeling, that enthusiasm, which literally means deity on the inside. And that's the spark that's going to move out into the world and bring matter back to you. That's manifesting at its best. But in the meantime, Virgo, as you let go of maybe restrictions or an idea of you're too erratic, I need you to be a little bit more stable, or maybe I need to be a little bit more spontaneous. So it's about moving and changing, not to change for anyone else, no, but to have that harmony in a relationship as you let go of your old beliefs about what they should be. Okay, and Libra, last but not least, and I'm going to come back to Sagittarius because I kind of glossed over that, but Libra, 12 and 6, we are looking at 12 was the solar eclipse in Scorpio, which is still in effect. And that is really understanding from a broader perspective what your true core beliefs are. Your core beliefs. That's the eclipse lighting its way on your psyche, because you have some wounds that you have not cleared up, and they are going to affect you like anybody else. And it's not like the thunderbolts coming out of the sky and, watch out, because it's just that you have certain patterns that create certain results in work and or with your health. Because the lunar eclipse is the 6th house for you, Libra, and that can be Yeah, I can't work at that pace anymore. I just can't do it. But who said you had to in the first place? That's where I want you to go. And I have heard Libra, Sun, Rising, and Moon say this so many times throughout my career. I want to grab them by the shoulders, shake them and hug them and say, you already are perfect. There is no perfection. There is no perfection except if you are standing in the light of pure conscious love in as many moments as possible. And because there's no end to you, Libra, Sun, Rising, and Moon. There's no end to you unless you believe that there's an end. If you believe that there's an end, that you believe that there is one goal to get to, and it's got to be perfect by the time I get there, then that is your definition. And I guarantee you it will create a lot of angst and disappointment because people are not going to live up to that standard. You can't live up to that standard. If you're writing a book or you're creating, you have a job to do and you get it done, you're weeding a garden. Okay, it's done. That gets done. Is it perfect? That's up to you to decide. But if you're a creator of any kind and you're human and you're on earth and you're part aware, I hope you're fully aware at some point that you are merging biology with pure conscious love, that you go, next time I do that garden, see, the next time I'm gonna do it a little differently. It's not perfect. It's not imperfect. It's possible. It's a potential. It's the next level of you. So come away from that idea that something has to reflect on your beliefs is what I said last week, but to see how that's affecting your health, your well-being. And I'm not saying you're going to get physically ill if you have a thing going on about perfection, but you're going to get tired and you're not going to include others. You will not collaborate. It's like, oh, I'm just going to get it done. I can do it better. I'll get it done myself. Because if I give it to them to, if I give it to that seamstress, all right. Oh, I see they did a little differently, but okay. I don't have time. I don't have time to do everything. So this back and forth that goes on in your brain is coordinating how to be perfect and then how to fulfill that role. That's kind of hard. Lighten up a little bit. Libra, Sun, Rising, and Moon. How about you allow yourself to just go, oh, well, that happened. Because if you're coming from a place of compassion, you're already in a state of perfection. You're not consciously looking to cause harm, right? No. You want to do the best job possible, yes, but if you cannot, ask for help. There, it's that simple. Ask for help of yourself, your higher inner being, from a friend, a trusted colleague, a professional, a body worker, Reiki, massage. Do some Joe Dispenza, do the Silva method, do Abraham Hicks, do any vibration that gets you out of the that's how it ought to be. That's how it ought to look. So work toward that. But if it doesn't, because whenever there's other people involved, it's never going to be exactly the way you envision it if other people have their hands on it. But then you're like, well, that's why I need to do it myself. Really? That's an extreme. Extremes do not create harmony. Libra, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Harmony is being as present as possible and going, okay, I trust that it's going to be what it is. I'm just going to wrap up a little bit with Sagittarius because I apologize. I thought you were Aries. You're so fiery. Sagittarius, again, Sun, Rising, and Moon, those values that you're placing on joint resources. If you have an inner feeling of mistrust, like, I don't know, they want me to invest $5,000 in that new Hex crypto. I don't know. They want me to defer my severance pay and go put it into a blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I trust that. If you don't trust something, Sagittarius, Sun, Rising, and Moon, then what I want you to do is take a nice deep breath and tune in, pull in, get settled into your body and say, do I give myself enough time, energy, love to express honestly, to express who I am? Because if I feel like they're going to cheat me on a lower level, then that's where the light of the lunar eclipse goes and says, let's clean that up. Let's clean that out. What do you mistrust? What do you mistrust? Who do you mistrust? Because if you point a finger outside yourself, I want you to then write down all the behavior, Sagittarius, Sun, Rising, Moon, write down all the behavior, and they did that and they didn't do that and they can do this. And, so the judgment comes up, right? Then you just get the behavior down, take away their names, And then look in the mirror and say, when am I these things? Because the extreme is to value you. If you do not value you and your instincts, your intuition, then when you joint resource with anyone, with sex, with cash, with business, you will be disappointed. So set your boundary, be healthy, be open, do not be wishy-washy, but then don't go to the extreme and be, like, yeah, what are you doing? Cynical is the word I was looking for. We don't want cynicism. We want that harmony, so that you realize you are the authority in what you do. You're brilliant at what you do, Sag, Sun, Rising, and Moon. So that when you collaborate for money, for energy, maybe you're working with a counselor because of physical abuse in your past. So as you work that out, you're realizing, oh, I understand now. I understand. Not just psychologically, but in my body. I'm going to rework that pattern and dissolve those neurons and create new ones. So I value what's happening around me because I am creating my new reality. Sag, Sun, Rising, and Moon. That felt like a fast dating race. Hi, everybody. So glad you're here. And I am, let me see, next week is the 10th, and it is the... I'm going to be talking about Mars in Gemini retrograde. But please understand, folks, that when something is going on in the world, in your life, in your body, in your mind, it's not because something is happening astrologically or astronomically. You are the one who is creating the matter. You. So when you create matter, it shows up on a lab report. If you get your blood taken, it shows up astrologically, it shows up numerologically, because you are the one making that matter. Does that make sense to you? I'm going to pull a card and let me just get rid of this. I came up for air. Okay, I'm going to use Yasmin Boland's deck. I thought I lost a card, but I guess not. Okay. How's everyone doing during this time? Hey, Christy. Lady, when I'm with you, I'm smart. Is that Journey? Did I just channel Journey? Oh my gosh. You know, I want you to pay attention to when you're walking through the room and there's nothing going on and suddenly you hear a song in your head. Message. Turn on the radio and there's a song and it's somehow, and you're deep in thought and you're undergoing something and you turn the music on and you hear something. You're pulling it to you. Excuse me. A lot of talking. All right. This lunar eclipse experience. Hey, Samuel's here. Remember to say hello, comment, share, like, subscribe. And aside from the Mars and Gemini that I'll be talking about next week, the following week, I will be away at a Mastering a Joe Dispenza week so that I can manifest more at will. And then comes Thanksgiving. So I won't see you for 2 weeks, possibly 3, because then I go away. But I'm going to do my best. Okay, December 1st is a Thursday, and I will do my best to broadcast from Cancun. That's where I will be. But in the meantime, I want you to just take this time during this eclipse and really think about the things that I've talked about in the past couple of months. And then you can also future project. So instead of you're walking through the room, your life, your day, and suddenly a thought comes up and it makes you feel angsty or upset or sad. Of course, feel your feelings, but then we're not going to talk more about it or think more about it. Now I want you to find a bridge and turn it around. Find a bridge. And the bridge could be, I really am grateful. I love the way autumn leaves look. I love that smell of petrichor right before it rains. Or I feel kind of tired right now, so I'm just going to do nothing. I'm going to read, do a crossword puzzle, watch a movie. Go as neutral as possible. What I've been saying for years, neutral to positive, right? You got to find your way to neutral because that's the only way. You can't go from negative to positive. You just can't. Not unless you're an avatar from another country. I mean, alien. I mean, okay. I love this. Okay, surrender to the divine. I love that. And that is a full moon energy. And this will be a full moon eclipse. The lunar eclipse is always at a full moon. And so when you surrender, what does that mean? It is connecting to the part of you that is higher inner. It is the stream. I'm sorry, wrong side. The stream of light from the universe, that powerful feeling, understanding that you are matter and wave, and that you have feelings, that you have thoughts, and you're going to find that place of flow, but it's not a fast trajectory like a tsunami. It's just, I'm going to feel it, because divinity is like, it's a buoyant place where you can float and be held, and not have to do or say anything. You don't have to do or say anything. And that's when you recharge your spiritual battery, and you come back and go, okay, I'm reemerged right now into biology. And I'm going to, my very next moment is going to be something simple like, oh, I need to clean that one drawer out right there. That just, it motivates me. So when you move toward things that feel exciting or enthusiastic or ecstatic to some degree, or just so cozy, and this one's coming out. Oops. When you move to that place of peace, then that's when you're going to start to resonate a different frequency, and whatever traumas that you've held on to from the past, because if it's not fully released, and if it's not fully released and you're resonating that frequency, you're still going to create that matter. So people have said to me, how come hey, Dawn's here. Hi. Ohio. Why, Ohio? If you create something over and over again, like, well, what about that guy who got mugged? You know, all he did was walk from the bus to his car and he got mugged. It's like, did he ask for that? When I hear these questions, it's, people have a belief that you are consciously thinking of everything that you are in all moments. If that were true, you would make different choices. Think about that. If something comes to you, it comes to you because there's a part of you that has not set a boundary to it or has not released the vibration of it. It's one or the other. And so walking at night, before I look at this card, many years ago, I lived in New Jersey, and I was going for a regression session. Not that I recommend it highly unless you are, I keep repeating and noticing you're repeating the same thing over and over and over again. You're like stuck in a loop, and you're like, I need a door. So brain entrainment, you know, all the brain methods that you can do, John Assaraf, Dispenza, Abraham Hicks, doesn't really give you method except to meditate. But still the concept is there, you know, Silva method, anything that helps you change the brain chemistry, because that's where you're creating matter from. You're making the matter with your vibrations. So if you are not changing the pattern, it's not changing. So I needed to get clear on what the pattern was. So I went to a woman in New York, and it was at night. I drove my car and I parked 9 blocks away because I knew I'm going to have to walk. If this is any kind of a meditative experience, I'm really going to have to walk it off. And as I was walking, I wasn't even aware of how defensive my energy was. And some guys were catcalling me, and I walked by, and that did not feel good because of what they were saying and how, and they started to follow me. And then I went to this, and I had to go to the bathroom. So and I went to this woman's apartment, and I rang the bell, and she said, I'll be right with you. And I went into her apartment. I was there for 2 hours, and we did this whole regression thing. And, you know, it was like, and suddenly it was like, it was thrown out in front of me like a hologram, and all these lifetimes. And it was one thing, and that was a loss of power. And it didn't matter what the situations were. Each one will become a book one day, but it doesn't matter anymore. It's just like, it happened. Okay. I'm not going to like talk about, oh, and then this, and then I got this happened and that. So it's like, I needed to distill it down to what was the issue. And I saw me losing my power, giving it away, not being empowered. And so I left. Oh, and I had all these, like I broke open wide. Right. And I'm looking at the dead plant in the corner and this woman, the only two, aside from me, the only two living things. And I'm looking at the energy, and I was so not on planet, but I was so aware. And I was that, like that stream. And it was like, I left that apartment and I looked up at everything. Now, I went to school in New York. I grew up on the East Coast. I realized how small and contracted I was, so I wouldn't be seen, so I could protect myself. And now I'm leaving, and I'm so open wide, and I feel like, where is it? I've showed you this picture before, right? When I'm doing my work, that's how I felt. But I hadn't had this picture at that time in my life. I felt so light and open and airy and powerful without the need to do anything. Powerful doesn't mean forceful. And so I just felt like I was standing in my light. And the dirt on the ground and the buildings, everything was sparkling. Everything was absolutely beautiful. And I went back the way I came, and there were those guys. I didn't even think twice about them. They didn't even notice me. I was not resonating their frequency. They didn't see me. I decided to get some flowers at a floral shop, and there was a small Asian woman who did not speak a lot of English. And so I walked in and I heard every flower singing, talking. I was like, oh my God, I wanted to cry. It was so beautiful. And the woman and she was so sweet and kind. And I went back to my car, and before I knew it, I was back home as if I flew. So when you alter your vibration and you realize what the issue has been, you stop attracting that same thing over and over again. So what I want to see for you in this eclipse phase really is to be still and not overload your plate with so much, so that you can be present and not judge what anyone else is doing. They have a different reality than you, and they're not right or wrong. They are not right or wrong. They're having a different reality. Now, deep down, you would look at something and go, those people, oh my God, they just like stole. And that kid, he broke somebody's window. That's not right. Not your reality. Okay, so we have a be bold and make the first move. And I would say the first move for you would be to be as present as possible, in a state of compassion, in as many moments as possible. Set your healthy boundaries. Yes. Excuse me, that's not okay. Because if you allow a kid to jump up and down on your furniture and you don't like it, but you don't say anything, they're kids. Excuse me, could you not do that? You don't need a million reasons why. Just please don't do that. I'm asking you nicely. Please don't do that. And if they continue, and what I mean by kid is like, okay, a 4-year-old, yeah, but a 44-year-old who's doing something that you don't appreciate, a 55-year-old, it doesn't matter. Anyone who's doing something you don't appreciate, you set the boundary in a kind way. I don't appreciate that. And then you take it from there. Be as present as you can as possible with it. And of course, if you are, someone who is a known psychopath, narcissist, emotions will run high. Right? So you don't engage. It's not your reality. You see a tornado coming, you step to the right. If you don't see the tornado coming, you've just gotten a wake-up call. Those don't feel good. I know. I've had them. I've had so many of them. Whether it's somebody leaves you, or somebody gets angry with you, or somebody runs into you, you literally, you get a fender bender, whatever is happening in your world, be as present as possible. You have so much power and you don't have to do anything with it. You're learning how to be empowered by presence of mind. And your higher inner being is, you're a stream of energy, right? And you're an extension of light, the light, the light that is everywhere. Even in black holes, there are particles of light. And so as an extension of light, you are deciding what you want to have in life, what you don't want to have in life. And so as you shape and form your reality, that's it. That's what you're doing. It's never over. And then you might leave here and go to a different town, city, state, country, planet. You're just a creation machine. Go have fun. And if you feel like your body's like not keeping up, then what do? Let me take care of you because I love you, because you're my way to walk around down here. All right, one last card. Hope everyone is doing well. And so, yeah, I'll see you next week, but then I'll be gone for 17th, 24th, and then I'll do my best to come to you live from Cancun. Oh, and by the way, the most of the world changes their clocks except for Arizona, and well, the Navajo Nation changes their clocks, but we do not. We are not Mountain Time. We are Yukon time, and people make that mistake. So when you change your clocks, Arizona will be on Mountain Time. Pacific will be 1 hour behind me. I will be 9:30 Thursday, next Thursday on the 10th. I will be here at 9:30 Yukon time, Arizona time. That means 8:30 Pacific. That means, wait a minute, 10:30. It'll be 9:30 Mountain Time, 10:30 Central Time, 11:30 a.m. East Coast Time, and then I think it's 5:30 p.m. In England or GMT. Okay, so please take note of that. Yeah, I'm 9:30 my time. It'll be 8:30 Pacific. Also 9:30 Mountain. It will be 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern, and then 5:30 Greenwich Mean Time. And then when I'm in Cancun, I don't know. I don't know what time zone they're in. I'll have to figure that out. I'll make an announcement. I'll do my best. All right, last card. Here we go. Okay, I love it. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Okay, so while that's happening, remember that you have insights, you have power, and you have choice, because everything that's in here, your insides make your outsides. So go make something beautiful. Cup of tea, sugar-free cake, a hug, plant a seed, an opportunity for someone else without expectation. Be of good cheer, my friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being, as always. I wish you peace. I will see you on the 10th. That is November 10th at adjusted times, 9:30 Yukon time and Mountain time, 8:30 Pacific time, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern, 5:30 Greenwich Mean Time. Be well. Have fun. Dream big. Go slow during the eclipse. Lunar eclipse. You might feel tired. Take care of yourself, please. All right, folks. See you again.